Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Debs and this is Silver Vial Flame. Please like the video as you come in, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and it really helps me and doing good work here to help many children who are missing, and also, most importantly, learning about ourselves, learning about how we can grow, learning about how people's minds work, why they do and say the things that they do. So we're going to be using today the Tarot and the Sacred Woundings deck, because I would really like to go in and see what's actually going on with Seth at the minute. So I think I'll pull the Sacred Woundings first, get a couple of those to see why he is behaving the way he is. So I just got a couple of content creators stuff. I haven't even listened the whole way through because, to be quite honest, I'm done. I'm really done with the whole circus. And what I want to do here is just to understand why Seth is displaying his anger in such a public way. In my opinion, it's futile. It's not productive. He would be much better going to law enforcement and bringing charges against a certain person who he knows that he has actual proof. And that would be the beginning of getting the wheels in motion and getting some kind of conviction or some kind of justice for Sebastian. But that's just my opinion. So let's look into his energy. So please give me a couple of cards to see what's going on with Seth, please. What's going on? Lack of purpose. And the one that goes with that, please. Family of origin. Wow. Right, guys. Look at that. Will show up as a deep-rooted patterns of unworthiness, fear of rejection, or a need to overperform, to feel loved. It may manifest as struggles with boundaries, repeating unhealthy cycles, or carrying unsolved emotional burdens that aren't yours to bear. So a lot of stuff that's not processed, a lot of energy he's holding in his body, which isn't his. This can go back to family. This can go back to his marriage with KP, and a lot of anger that he's holding in regard to that, and perhaps a lack of action. That maybe, and a lot of regret is what I'm feeling as well. Lack of purpose. So this will show up as feelings of emptiness, confusion, and disconnection to your inner self. You may struggle to find motivation, feel aimless or lost, and long for meaning or fulfillment. This disconnect can leave you questioning your direction in life, unsure of where you're headed, and craving a deeper sense of significance or belonging. Makes sense. He's Sebastian's father. By his own admission, his purpose in life was to be a father to that boy, and I have no doubt that he loves Sebastian very, very much. But somehow I feel that there's an inability to act upon something that's maybe going to show himself in less of a light than he would like to portray himself as. Let's just put it that way. I think that's really all we need to know, because without going too deep, it's just, I feel the guy doesn't really, whether he's coming or going. And my own opinion is that he's the type of character who's quite easily led and influenced by others. That's just my opinion. You may not agree with me, but that's just what I feel myself. But if I had information that I thought would create a starting point into bringing certain people into the forefront, and it would create a starting point in order to find out what happened to Sebastian, I know that I would be doing it. So I want to know, why is he not bringing charges against KP and CP? Why is he not looking into why they haven't been charged, why they have not even been looked into in regards to the said abuse? I mean, Chris Proudfoot, by his own admission, admitted on camera that he did discipline Sebastian in ways beyond the norm of what many parents would do. So guys, before I go deep down into this, everything is all alleged, my opinion, and not fact. So I'm just going to set those aside. And we're going to put some tarot. I've already shuffled these. I'll just give them another quick shuffle on camera. And we're going to ask why. Why is Seth not doing the one thing that he can do and enforce these charges with law enforcement, and ask why? Why has this not been looked into? And just get the ball moving. I think we'd all like to know that. So let's just see what comes out. What's happening here, please? Spirit, can you give us a very clear insight as to what's going on with Seth Rogers at this time? The Lovers in reverse. So this is conflict. And this is the direction, impulsive action. The Lovers in reverse is also indecision. I'm turned over there. King of Pentacles in reverse. That's to do with finances, and it's to do with, when I looked into this before, this is what I got. It's to do with not managing money in a very sensible way. Let's just put it that way. Being financially inept. So, conflict around action, some kind of impulsive action that he's taken regards finances, misuse of finances is what I'm hearing. Let's get a card for underneath each one so we can go a wee bit deeper on it. So this is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is unconventionality. So he has been making bad choices around. The Hierophant is like institution. It is, doing things a certain way. It's, keeping in line with the law. So it looks to me like Seth has been making decisions and bad choices in the past about the law, keeping things as they should be, keeping within the land of the law. Let's put it that way. So why have I got the Eight of Swords in reverse? First of all, a card fell on the floor. Let's see what that was. Yes, the Nine of Wands in reverse. So that's a lot of overwhelm with that. Feeling very overwhelmed. So let's get a card for underneath the Knight of Swords. So that's financial failure. That's lack of stability. that's, your finances being completely up the chute. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So remember, we're looking into why he's not bringing these charges forward. Let's get one for the King of Pentacles in reverse. So there's a Chariot. So that's two opposing forces working together. It's also a card of movement. So the reason why he's not doing it, why he's not moving forward, is because he's been financially inept. And in the past, I'm going to confirm that now, there's been a lack of financial stability, a lack of resources in regards to moving forward in the past. And there has been a lot of strong opposition with him in regards to conflict and choices that he's made in the past. Could I have confirmation that we're talking about something that has happened in the past, in the time? This is what I'm being given, because I'm looking at the Hierophant. The Hierophant can also mean a marriage. And they're giving me that this is back in the time when he was still with KP. So could I have confirmation of that, please? Am I on the right track in regards to this is something that has happened then? Yes, the judgment call, looking back into the past. This is the clarity that I was asking for. And we have the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is conflict. The Five of Wands is coming out of conflict. So in order to keep the peace, he has made the decision to keep this quiet. And the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil in reverse, which is restoring control, so that he could restore control and just have a happy life. Just keep the peace with that Sun. But the moon's underneath that, and that's what we're talking about, something that's hidden. Okay, let's go in a wee bit deeper. As I said, I did pull cards in this a long time ago myself, and I did get questions around this during a live, and it was the same thing. If something in the past, bad choices in the past with some regards money, whether it's grifting or something that he's ashamed of, that he has been threatened by, in my opinion. Is that correct, Spirit? Could you give me confirmation of that? Has Seth been threatened with exposure of misuse of funds, something in that direction? These cards fell out. I'm going to use them. Well, there's a Magician. Okay, so the Magician is about quite crafty, the Magician, but it's about creating a peaceful partnership. These two cards here is what I've got. Two Cups with a Magician. It's like a proposal. It's like a decision. This is what we have created, and we'll say nothing about it, about this Pentacle. See the Pentacle again. This is, the money. And the page, the Ace of Pentacles is representative of like a new opportunity or an investment, or it's about money, it's about prosperity. And these two cards here. So in order to move forward, this is the setback. It's like in order for you to move forward, you're not going to be able to because it's Seven of Pentacles in reverse. There won't, there will be no reward for you because we have you here. We have you. We've made this decision that what's coming to me, and guys, remember, this is just me, and what's coming to me and what Spirit are giving me is that there has been some injection of funds from the opposing side, let's just put it that way. And this is something that he's not quite proud of. Could I have confirmation of that, please? Is that what happened? Yeah, 4 of Wands in reverse. So this is conflicts, and it's also a lack of support. Tell me more about the lack of support. It's lack of support in the family. Okay, so why are you showing me? So he felt he had a lack of support. Why? Because the Devil in reverse, it's about restoring control. It's like it's like gaining your freedom, because I feel like he felt very limited within his means, and he just wanted freedom, and he reached out, or perhaps a proposal was made in order to get funds from the opposing side. Why are you giving me the Devil in reverse? Why are you giving me the recovery, the card of freedom? Yeah, so this was like so he could move forward. Because the Page of Wands is, exploration. It's like a new opportunity, a daring action. And I feel like this is for Sebastian as well, so he could support Sebastian. It's interesting that the 4 of Wands in reverse can also mean leaving home. And we'll have Sebastian here as well, and this is the freedom. So it's nearly, what they're giving me is, it was like a placeholder, to keep him there, because they didn't want Sebastian to go there, to be with Seth. But what other way would he not oppose that? Justice card flew out. So this is cause and effect. This is truth. This is integrity. Are you telling me this is about integrity? This is about lack of integrity? Could I have confirmation of that, please? Is this about lack of integrity? Hermit, being on your own, searching for the truth. Why give me the Hermit? Fear of change, playing it safe. Also bad planning. Who is this representative of? Who is this representative of? Is this Seth? Yeah. So this is a broken family, and this is a dispute. 10 of Cups in reverse. This is what this has all been about. And basically it comes down to money. So are you telling me that there's a huge secret tied up with this lack of action regarding money? Money that has been misappropriated, or a deal that has been made, but something around money that Seth isn't proud of, in my opinion. Can I have confirmation of that, please? And that's why he's not pursuing these charges. Yes. Doesn't want to be seen. 6 of Wands. It's a card of victory, of success. Being seen in public. He doesn't want that to be put on display. He doesn't want people to know. He's at something that he's not proud of. We've all done things that we're not proud of. Let's use the whispers. And let's see what the whisper says about this, and see if we can get more insight about it. So I'm just going to leave that card there. Put the rest in the deck. But nobody wants their dirty washing hung out in public, but when your son's missing and you'll do anything, you know, you don't, everything else goes to the wall. It's just like, you know, it doesn't matter what they say about me. Okay, I'm not perfect. I made bad choices. But I think this is what's behind it. Could I have 5 cards, please, from the Whispers? Tell me why. Tell me why Seth isn't doing the one thing that he can do. All these come out. I'm wondering, should I take them? I have a feeling that they're going to tell us a story. So there's death. So that's transformation. That's something that's happened to make a difference. Political. Something that has been worked out. Okay? Plot twist. Something that we didn't expect that would happen. Something that you don't expect as a plot twist. So didn't see that coming. You know, if this came out into the public eye, that Seth had been maybe, you know, receiving funds or, you know, misusing funds, in my opinion, with the devil. So this is obviously the opposition who we're talking about, the very ones that he's, you know, unfortunately having to deal with in his life, and because their connection is there with his son. Affair cheating. That's interesting, isn't it? Affair cheating. So that's, if we don't take that literally, that can be about, you know, mistrust, deceit, money. There's the money. There's the alive. That's, you know, it's keeping me alive. It's keeping me doing what I can do. It's just a little seed. It's something that's going to help me. You know, someone gives you a helping hand. You know, it keeps you alive. It's a little seed towards something else. Fraud, cybercrime. Well, you know, we don't know what's happened. All we know is that it's tied in with money. And again, follow the money. All about money, guys. So it's looking more and more. I think we need one more. And if you notice, my phone went off just right when I said that. Poignant remark. I'm just going to turn it off here. Thought I had turned it off. Right, we need one more just to even things up here. One more, please. I'm keeping that one because they told me to keep it. That's the one. Royalty again being seen. Something being highlighted around deception. It's to do with money. That's the focus of the reading. You know, that's telling us where the crux of it is. Dishonesty around money. This was something that was worked out in order to, you know, help him survive. And it was to bring transformation. The money was to bring transformation into his life. because the Death card is about transformation and change. So what I'm going to do now is get another little deck here. And we're going to use tarot. Because again, this is all about, I don't want people to see this. I don't want this to be public. If I do this, this is going to come out. If I bring these charges against them, this is what's going to come out. So I would like a tarot, please, for each row of these cards to give me confirmation that I'm on the right track here. So we're using a fresh deck. 1, 2, 3. Let's move that up. Let's move them all up so we can get them all on. And let's see what we get. I haven't asked the question yet, so I'm not going to take that. Okay, underneath death and money. So the change that the money would be creating. Card for that, please. So 10 of Pentacles in reverse again. So that would take him out of the lack of money. It would take him out of the lack of the energy of lack. The lackness that he's in. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. It's not having any money. This would bring transformation to the topic of money. The fact that he didn't have any money, that he was in lack. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. That all makes complete sense. Tell me about this next row, which is the political. So that's working something out in order to survive. We have the card. It's underneath that, please, to help us understand that. And it had to sacrifice something. The Hangman in reverse. So this was concocted so that the other party was basically having the upper hand and understanding that something had to be sacrificed here. And obviously your own sense of self-worth is the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay. And it's also a card of surrender. It's like, totally having to surrender to the fact that you've got yourself into difficulties around money and something has to be worked out. Okay, so the next row we have plot twist and fraud, cybercrime. So this is at the center of our reading. So could I have a card for those two cards, please? The Hermit. So this is being in isolation. This is, having to take time alone. You can see the fraud, cybercrime. He's obviously hiding. He's obviously being fraudulent. He's doing something on the quiet. He hasn't told anybody about it. It's something that he's kept to himself. That's where the plot twist is in regarding this question. It's something what I feel that he's ashamed of. Okay, let's get the tarot for the devil and follow the money. So the devil is the temptation, obviously, that he's given to. And my opinion, the devil is CP. Okay, could I have a card for the devil and follow the money, please? Help us understand. The Nine of Wands in reverse. So that's total overwhelm. You know, it's like total exhaustion. It's like I'm just at my wit's end and I just can't keep going anymore. If the Knight of Wands had it been in the upright, it would have been, you know, keeping going. I'm nearly there. I'm willing to fight the good fight. But obviously, he has been in a place of rock bottom, and he's had to follow the devil. You know, he's had to give in and say yes to this temptation. We're going to go further and find out exactly what the temptation is. I know it's tied in with money, but I'm going to try and get us a deeper answer on it. I just have to understand more about this. And then we're going to bring in Sebastian. Okay. So could I have a card, please, for underneath affair, cheating, and royalty? So this is obviously something being exposed about dishonesty. So what card have you got for underneath that for me, please, Spirit? Very clear answer. And thank you so much for all these wonderful, clear cards. Yeah. A lack of not being in his right mind, the King of Cups in reverse, you know, his emotions have been all over the place. And he's just been you see the King of Cups they've just given me there is the King of Cups in reverse comes out for Chris, for me all the time. But these cards are all in reference to Seth. So I feel he's been completely, you know, at rock bottom. He's not been himself. King of Cups. King of Cups is very heart-centered. He's a good man. But I feel like he's been in a place of, as these cards, the card beside it says, you know, rock bottom. And he's had to keep something to himself. You know, he's had to do this in a very deceitful way. Let's get another card for the affair cheating. Just to make sure I'm interpreting right. But I do trust what Spirit give me first. But just for you guys who's thinking maybe perhaps he's seen something, you know, about cheating, but that would make sense because we're talking about Seth here. We're talking about why Seth isn't doing the one thing he can do. Seth is a single man, you know. We're not talking about the other direction. We're not talking about Seth exposing CP. We're talking about why Seth isn't bringing charges. So another card for that affair cheating, please. Queen of Pentacles. So that's about money. If it had been Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I would have said KP. But the Queen of Pentacles is in the upright. So that's dishonesty around money, about, you know, being very abundant. I'll just get another one to go with it. Yeah, waiting on your abundance. Having to be patient about your abundance. And at the bottom of the deck, the whole thing's being cross-referenced. The Six of Wands. Where do we have the Six of Wands? Six of Wands. So the dishonesty is around his not being able to provide for his son and having to take a handout. This has happened in the past. This is what we're confirming. This has happened in the past. In order to recover, in order to be able to make a decision, to get what he wants, to get his wish, and that's to be able to take action and heal and create stability in the family. where there was an imbalance and where there was sadness around a choice that he had made. Lovers is a card of choice. And so that he would be able to move forward, Three of Wands, and bring balance back into his life. Okay. At this point, I'm going to use my little mediumship deck. This is a new deck that I have. And what I do is I get a card from it and I throw a little dice and I go to the number that the dice refers to on the card that comes out, and we get a truth. And I'm going to ask Sebastian to come forward with a stack of cards and ask us to give us the reason, because it's not as if Sebastian's taking sides. When we cross over, we see everything from a higher perspective and there are no sides. So Sebastian's going to give us the clarity that we need around this. Thank you, Sebastian. All right, could you bring Sebastian in, please? I'll just wait and concentrate here and let Sebastian work through the cards. And we're asking the question, what is it that's stopping Seth from doing the one thing that he can do and enforce these charges of abuse against CP and KP? All right. Let's see what we get. We've got two. Okay. So what I do is throw the dice for each one and I go to the number that's on the card and then I'll read it out to you. So we have number 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. So this is about hindsight is a gift, but love forgives the past. So Sebastian is saying, Dad, this is all hindsight. This is all stuff that has happened in the past. This is something that doesn't matter now. And the thing I wish I had done differently is said I love you more often. So this is Sebastian speaking through his dad and giving us that message. I'll bring it up there so you can see it. All right. I'll be using these cards in my lives. They're wonderful little cards. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. And let's get the number for it. So we have number 7. Okay. Some moments are so powerful, they echo forever. The thing I loved most about our time together was the connection that never faded, even after death. So the other sides of these cards tell a story too, guys. So this one here, we have a little stick man sitting on a cloud and saying, I love you. Oh my goodness. I knew there was going to be something on the back of these cards. And this one says, one call away. This is a song. So if you look up this song, you'll get the words to the song and it'll be completely resonate with what we're talking about. So Sebastian is saying you're only one call away. So it's Charlie Puth, Puth is the singer, and you can look that up. Wow. And it also says I love you. Let's see what's on this one. Thank you for loving me, Bon Jovi. And interesting, well, I don't know whether that is money or not, but it's someone, little stick man, walking away with looks like a cauldron of money. And as if to say, all of that doesn't matter now. You know, the love was there. Don't be ashamed. You know, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes bad choices. That everyone does things that they're not proud of. Is what I hear Sebastian saying. I feel like Sebastian would like to tell us a bit more just before I close off this reading. So I'm going to ask Sebastian why. I'm going to ask Sebastian why his father, in my opinion, all alleged, my opinion, no facts. Remember, there are no facts here. We're just reading the energy. I asked Sebastian why his father is so unwilling to make the call. Thank you, Sebastian. So there's anxiety with the moon. And there's the, you know, the willpower, the desire. He's afraid. This is about unseen promises, you know, unexpected drama. He's afraid that this is going to open up a whole different can of worms. It's going to bring change. Bottom of the deck, we have the Death card. Tell me more, Sebastian. Okay, so he's afraid. It's his intuition telling him that, you know, if he does this, it's going to open up a new can of worms. This card wanted to come out. Bad luck. Unwelcome changes, this card is about too. And it's also a card of feeling like a failure. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And we may even have to face his fears. Where the deck broke, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse on the bottom of the deck. Well, this is about delays. You know, this is about a completion of a cycle. I mean, look at the two circles here. But you need to turn those around. Well, we need to see the cycle closing. We need to see the success and the good fortune and, you know, everything working hand in hand so that we can get this moving, get some insight, get further illumination on what's been going on in this family. But no, they're in reverse. He's just unwilling to do it. But as Sebastian says, one call away. Let's just open the deck. See where Sebastian takes us. Authority. Father figure. Respect. Leadership. Strategic planning. He wants him to do it. He wants him to take control and do it. He knows that this would bring hope, and he knows that this would take him out of worry, and this would take, you know, a lot of strain off himself. It's to do with the past, Six of Cups. You know, and it would also bring healing for him as well. And it would bring him freedom. There's that Hierophant in reverse again that we saw at the beginning of this reading. And there's Sebastian again. That would bring freedom to Sebastian. It would mean some kind of justice would be done for Sebastian. That's where I'm going to leave it, guys. I think that gave us what we needed to know. There's obviously, in my opinion, been some transaction, some threat, or something that's been covered up, something that he's not proud of. I mean, I don't feel like it's anything huge. I just feel like it's something that has happened. Dealings with the devil here. But then again, I mean, these things happen in life, don't they? And as I said before, I mean, this is bringing justice for Sebastian. Let's ask Sebastian for a message for all of us who are trying to make sense of all of this. Could we have a message from you, please, Sebastian, from this little deck as well? From me and my collective all watching, could you give us a message, please, from you to us? A message from you to us, please, Sebastian. And that will be us closing off this video. We have 3. Number 7. This is when something I left behind will resurface. Okay. And this one. Number 2. The decision you're struggling with has more guidance behind it than you think. I forgot to read in this one as well, guys. Spring is when you'll understand. What number was it? This is when something left behind will resurface. Wow. Did I always say spring? So maybe it is going to. And this one. Number 3. Look at the timing. Something has shifted right before or after I passed. Pay attention. Wow. On the other side of that card, we have Here Comes the Sun, the Beatles. Thank you, Sebastian. That's very hopeful. Heaven was needing a hero. It's on the front of this one and this one. Color yellow. Open Arms by Journey. He's telling us, he loves us, and he's telling us, everything's happening for a reason. And with this Here Comes the Sun, he's telling us that this is all being highlighted and that spring is the time. What did I say, guys? Didn't I say spring? Do you believe I did? One card from me about spring. I'd like to know about spring. Could I have validation about spring, please? So we're more or less in spring now. So Sebastian has just given us a message there. Thank you, Sebastian. And he's telling us the spring is when we'll understand. Okay. This is when something I left behind will resurface. Tell us more. The Empress. Well, that's me. That's what we're talking about. So I made the prediction. What else? What are you telling me? Telling me there's been the lack of action. There has. We haven't seen it. The Ace of Wands. We haven't seen this new beginning that we're hoping for. Okay. And what else? Because there's been some deception. Okay, those two come out. So there's been some deception and some lack of action around inability to change. This is, being stuck. This is the stagnancy, the death in reverse. And the Ten of Swords is everything is fine. So this is me saying everything is fine. These two read together. This is the stagnancy around the lack of the new beginning that we had hoped to see in spring. I know there's still time, we're still in spring, and this is the Page of Wands. So this is the lack of looking into. The Page of Wands is a student, it's a card of a student. So it means someone hasn't been studying, someone hasn't been looking into what they should have been looking into. Okay. So show me how things are going to be different in spring then, please, Sebastian. One card for underneath each one. So this is the Page of Wands again. So this is me witnessing the lack of action, the lack of news. Ace of Wands in reverse. And this is around the loss of love, around, what happened to Sebastian. This is the evil deed. Page of Swords, and this is Judgment. So this is telling us that there's been a lack of study in regards to making the judgment call and to looking into what they need to be looking into from the past about what happened to Sebastian, and the Death in reverse. So this is the resistance to change again. This is a card of resistance too. Being all up in your head about it and fighting about it. And the everything is fine. The Emperor. Taking charge. So this is law enforcement. Talking about here. Okay, so that explains clearly what's going on now. So what's going to happen? Is this going to be turned around, Sebastian? Are we actually going to see things change? This is a card of being stuck. Eight of Cups in reverse. Show me more. This is giving and receiving. Seven of Cups in reverse. So this is clarity around where, this is bringing clarity and around where they've been stuck. And I feel like they're going to be given some kind of evidence. Let's use some whispers now, and then we're definitely finishing off. Just getting all into this now. Okay. One card underneath each of these three. Okay, so that's where the stagnancy was. Very deep, something very hidden, something hidden. in a place where no one would go. And the Six of Pentacles. Trapped. Giving and receiving. This is the gift. This is the gift. The gift is where the gift is in the giving. The gift is in the giving. They're giving me. So what is it? What is it? What is it that needs to be given, Sebastian? What is it that needs to be given? What is it that needs to be given? About the debt. Sebastian, are you saying bottom of the deck will have dismemberment? So that's taking apart what we've uncovered about the money situation with Seth. And I need a card for underneath the Seven of Cups, please, Sebastian. Thank you. So the Seven of Cups is the clarity. Timeline issues. So that's going back into the past to uncover this. There's the delays again. Both these cards are about delays. Okay. I'm going to have to stop. I think this video's been long enough. But that's definitely what we're talking about, Seth here, remember? So this is what's keeping us stuck. You know, if Seth would even bring charges and we could get some movement and get the ball rolling, and then that would be like a permission slip for us to even go deeper and for law enforcement to go deeper and to see what's underneath it and to see what else it can uncover in regards to how certain party uses money to censor people. Okay, that's definitely food for thought. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll be on again with a little pick a pile. I've got my laptop all sorted out here, so I'll be on with more videos. So thanks so much for joining me, and see you next time. Bye.